Good evening. Welcome to the December 12th Fairfield City School District Board of Education meeting. Call to order. Mrs. Lee, our interim treasurer, is not here, so we will appoint or vote to appoint Scott Clark as our treasurer pro tem for tonight's meeting. I would like to make that motion. Mr. Napier?
I'll second it.
Seconds the motion. Mr. Clark, would you call the roll?
I'd be happy to. Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mr. Napier?
Yes.
Myself, Mr. Clark? Yes.
There you go.
All right.
Will you call roll, please, Mr. Clark?
Yes, Mr. Begley?
Here.
Mr. Napier?
Here.
Ms. Birding Miller? Ms. Gundrum? Mr. Clark? Yes, here, present.
We have a quorum. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Napier, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Napier. Presentations and resolutions. Mr. Smith.
Yes, Mr. Begley, members of the board, we do have one presentation this evening. That is an equity progress report from members of our equity leadership team. Before I turn it over to some other members of our team, I'd like to begin by sharing the mission and beliefs of our equity plan. Our mission is teaching our children and ourselves to live, learn, and work together in a vibrant and diverse world. We believe, as we've said many, many times, that the diversity of our district is one of our greatest strengths. It provides us with opportunities to hear a variety of perspectives, which allows all of us to grow and learn from each other. The next part of that is that we also believe that all children can learn and achieve to their fullest potential. Just as we always do, we place an emphasis on the word all. We must continue to work together to ensure that we are meeting the needs of all students so that they may reach their full potential. At this time, I will turn it over to one of our co-chairpersons and our principal at North Elementary, Mrs. Denise Hayes.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I appreciate it. Good evening, board members. Good evening, everyone. I would just like to tell you that our equity leadership team and our work is guided by 4 pillars. Our first pillar is driven by Mr. Jason Hustle. He's the Director of Human Resources here in the district. Pillar 1 is designed to work on recruiting, hiring, and retaining teachers, administrating, and staff members of color. And that work is really primarily driven by our Diversity Recruitment and Retention Committee. We work really hard to make sure that we are trying to get staff members that are directly looking like the students in which we serve. We feel that that is really important, considering that our student body is continually changing as we move forward. Pillar 2 is headed up by Mrs. Mandy Ogg. She's the Director of Curriculum and Instruction here in the district. She is working really hard with a group to make sure that we are increasing cultural awareness of all students and teachers and administrators within the Fairfield City School District, particularly along the lines of instructional development within our district here at school. Pillar 3 is headed up by Gina Gentry Fletcher, who is the Director of School and Community Relations here in Fairfield City Schools. And that group is working to increase community engagement and parental involvement, which we know is very important. We believe that our community really helps to strengthen the work that we do here within the district. Pillar 4 is led by Katie Post-Pischel, who is the Coordinator of Secondary Curriculum here in Fairfield City Schools. And she works with her group to increase student engagement and learning opportunities to emphasize the value and importance of participation of diverse students in all curricular and extracurricular activities. And we have worked really hard to make sure that we are increasing opportunities for all students from elementary all the way through high school within the district. If you take a look at the chart here, we have some data which shows our enrollment all the way from 2021 to where we are now. There's been an increase in all of our subgroups except for our non-white subgroup, which truly justifies the need for this work. If you take a look at it, All of our students that fall within these subgroups are growing and growing, and we need to prepare them to thrive in a world, especially a world in which we know that our students are going to encounter other people in the world who may be different from them. And we as a team are committed to making sure that we are providing opportunities for all of our students to be prepared for the world in which they will live in and aspire toward, whether they're going to college, military, trade school, or entering directly into a diversified workforce. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jason Hustle, our Director of Human Resources, to give you an update on the progress of our work on Pillar 1.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Pillar 1 is about recruiting, rehiring, and retain diverse teachers, administrators, and staff members. We believe that students are inspired by role models they can relate to. It's important for our students to see teachers and staff who look like them, and as a district, we strive to be intentional in hiring high-quality, diverse staff. So speaking about that, obviously we have, as Ms. Hayes demonstrated, a very diverse student body. And so our goal as a district and for Pillar 1 and leading Pillar 1 as the Director of Human Resources is to be very intentional in recruiting and hiring diverse staff that look and represent our student population. Very proud to lead the DIRT Committee, which is the Diversity, Retention, and Recruitment Committee here in the district. That committee is made up of diverse staff members within the district. We meet monthly and we discuss ways in which we can celebrate our diverse staff, ways that we can continue to recruit and rehire and retain those diverse staff members. Fortunate to attend with Mrs. Skirvin. The two of us attended a recruitment night at Miami University, Go Red Hawks, in November. And the two of us were there for a few hours that evening, and we collected over 100 current December graduates and also May graduates from Miami University. So it was a great night for the two of us, and I think we decided to make that an annual affair. So a great night for us to represent Fairfield City Schools and have conversations with potential candidates. In addition to that, the 4 members of the DIRT Committee are signed up to attend an April Teacher Recruitment Day at Xavier University. So there'll be 4 of us that are attending, and our sole purpose is to, again, really go after and try to recruit and hire and lure those diverse candidates to Fairfield City Schools. Okay. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Mrs. Long.
Thank you, Jason. So tonight, I want to highlight the most significant work that we are doing in relation to Pillar 2 this year. We are doing PD, or professional development, for our teachers a little differently, in that teachers get to choose a pathway where their learning on in-service day relates to that pathway topic every time. This gives our teachers the opportunity to deepen their understanding around the topic throughout the school year. It was really important to us during the development of this plan to create pathways for our staff that would help to increase cultural awareness and support teachers in meeting the needs of our diverse learners. And I've just included a list up here on the slide. I won't read all of those to you, but you can see that it varies from, culturally responsive classroom practices to meeting the needs of students with disabilities to meeting the needs of our English learners. So I now have the honor of introducing some of our students who are going to talk about the next 2 pillars, which focus on community and student engagement. First, we will hear from Abby and Anna Martz, who will talk about their involvement in the Back to School Bash and what it means to them. And then we will have Jasmine Richardson and Maddie Gregston, 2 of our Equity Leadership Team student representatives, who will share a little about their experiences as leaders in show choir and AXO at the high school.
Hi, my name is Abby Martz. I'm a senior at Fairfield High School.
I'm Anna Martz. I'm also a senior at Fairfield High School. And we were princesses in the Back to School Bash. And one of the reasons that it means so much to me to get to do that is I've been doing it for 3 years now, and I've just grown to love it more and more every year, and I love getting to do it and put smiles on little kids' faces and get other people involved. You know, I would say I have a very blessed life that I'm able to do this because my mom works through the school, and I believe that it's what God calls us to do the most, to serve others. And it's just really nice to be able to use what I have to be able to serve others and put smiles on their faces, even if it's just for a few hours. Especially those that we know have less than us, and getting to go to Costume Castle every year and pick out princess dresses with the girls that I've been doing theater with my whole life is just it's such a fun experience, especially going towards those last years that we're being in theater with those people. To get to have those experiences with them and kind of end the summer with the back to school bash is always fun for us. And to get to see all the little girls and give them hugs and put smiles on their faces, and when they come up and give every princess a hug and tell them their favorite when we get the pictures, it's just always great. Because you don't always know, but you think the older girls are so cool when you're younger, but you think that the little girls are so cute when you're older. And it's just, I think it's great to be able to use our fortunate position to put smiles on people, especially little people's faces who definitely aren't as fortunate as us.
For me personally, I feel like being so involved in my school helps me be the voice for others that aren't so involved or maybe don't have the time to be involved, especially being an African American student. I've created chances for others by, creating the diversity and inclusion officer role in my show choirs, and kind of leveling the playing field on things like makeup and hair, and things that, maybe other people of color or white people in the program don't normally think about. And things like ACT-SO that I participated in also gave me the chance to earn scholarship money by doing things I love, like singing.
ACT-SO also helped me a lot with the school because it helped me showcase my talents, and also won scholarship money, and I got to advance to nationals and have a chance to compete for more money. No, I did not win, but it was still a fun experience, and I'm glad that my AP biology teacher, Mrs. Sweet, pushed me to do that.
I really appreciate hearing the students' voices and think that it's so important that we have them involved in this work, and that not only are they involved in the work, but they are seeing the benefits of this work. The equity leadership team that we have is comprised of administrators, teachers, parents, students, and other school personnel, providing a wide variety of perspectives to guide our work. Our goal is to engage in honest dialogue in a respectful manner to inspire change that will propel our district forward. And I do believe in all of the years that we've been doing this, that is exactly what's happening. I can honestly say that our work is not always easy, and we certainly don't always get a fast result, but I do believe that our students are always worth the effort that we put forth. On the bottom, you can see our Diversity Recruitment and Retention Committee, our DIRC committee, and they are comprised mostly of district personnel, and we do recognize how quickly the face of our district is changing, and we acknowledge the need to adapt to continue to meet the needs of the students that we serve. We are committed to ensuring that our student population does have the opportunity to experience staff members who reflect their identities and who they may aspire to be. And like I said before, I've been a member of this team since I've started in the district 12 years ago, and I do believe that we have come so far with our instruction, with not only our instruction for our staff, but our instruction for our students and the opportunities that we are providing them. And just to watch the way that our students interact with one another, the way that our community comes together, and the way that we serve, not for them, but the way that we serve with one another, is a true strength of this district. And I love how other districts reach out to us to try to find ideas of how they can do the same thing in turn. So I feel that that is a real blessing and strength for our district. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Superintendent Billy Smith to give some closing remarks.
Sure, thank you, Mrs. Hayes. So in closing, just like to make a few points. One, that our equity plan is a work in progress. It's a fluid document. Second, one of the things that I love about what we do is the work of the committee is that we will go a different direction as the needs of our students evolve. And as we know, our world does continue to change, and we must be willing to adapt if we want to successfully prepare all of our students for life after high school. And we've talked about it, we mentioned it here the last couple years during this presentation, the fact that our committee several of our committees have evolved in the last couple of years because we have started to include students and to hear that student voice. And prior to having students around the table, it was basically a group of adults, discussing our views and our perspectives on how we thought students felt and how they might see things on a daily basis at school. And sometimes we were spot on, but other times we've been really surprised to hear the feedback from the students. And that's really what all of this work is about. It's all about the students and this school district being the best that it can be for them, because ultimately, students, they are the reason that we are here every day and why we do what we do. Lastly, I would just like to thank every single member of our equity team for all of their work. And then I'd also like to thank our board members for their support of our equity plan. And also, please know, our team will continue to meet, engage, and conversations about the plan and the important work that goes along with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Comments from the board?
Do you know percentage of employees, the diversity percentage of employees, and is there a goal to get to a certain percentage?
I don't know offhand what the percentage is, and I should know that because we did share it at the last DIRC committee. Do you know offhand?
That's actually something that we talked about at the last committee, and I can share that with members of the board.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a goal? You want to get a certain percentage or just?
The goal is to be as high as we can. I know that across the state of Ohio, the number of minority candidates is very small.
Right.
I can say that. So we are trying really hard to accumulate as many minority prospects and employees as we can, whether they're certified or whether they're classified staff members. We think that's really important. I can say from the time that we've been here, we've had a really, really dramatic increase in the numbers that we've had. But unfortunately, even with the percentage being high, the numbers are still low given the amount of candidates that we have. But as a district, we are seeing a great increase in the amount of percentage-wise increase that we have acquired in the district over the years.
Okay.
And if I could chime in, Mr. Hustle can send that data to the board, but I do, and I'm almost 100% certain, but I can't say with 100% certainty, but I do believe the percentage has increased every year, maybe for the last 10 to 12 years. It has been a gradual increase, but it still is not up to the percentage. It's not matching our student percentage in terms of diversity. In fact, it's not as close as we would like for it to be, even though we've made gradual progress every single year. And a big part of that, as Mrs. Hayes has said, there are the percentage of minority candidates coming out of college is minuscule. And I know Mr. Martin gave a percentage for that a couple years ago. It might have been 4%. I can't say that with certainty, but it was very small. So that's a challenge as we try to increase every year. But the work has definitely paid off. And as Mrs. Hayes mentioned a few minutes ago, we're flattered by the fact that we've had school districts from outside of the state of Ohio, certainly those in Ohio and around the country, reach out to say, how are you doing this? How are you increasing each year? We know we're doing good work, but we're not satisfied. We're still trying to move forward.
Thank you for doing this and your stamina, so to speak, for the last 12 years and ongoing, because it's something that was probably very new then, and as we do a lot in Fairfield, we kind of are catalysts for things upcoming. The COVID pivot, teaching, the curriculum. I think we're sort of an iconic, if I may, district for doing that. And that's flattering that other school districts are reaching out to us to see how we're doing this. So thank you for that, and thank you to all of you. You mentioned in the very beginning of your presentation about parents getting involved. What does that look like? I'm sure what does it look like? Is it where you want it to be? And how could parents do more? I know we need parents to do more overall, but what in this situation, what is the need and what percentage, or not even a percentage, what kind of ratio or involvement do parents have right now?
Well, I don't know if it's a ratio that we're exactly looking for, but I think the more that we can incorporate parents in coming to school and partnering with us, that's hugely important. Sitting on a committee is great, and we do have parent involvement because having that parent voice when we have equity leadership team is great. But I think the number one thing, if I could speak to the masses, is making sure that parents show up. We want parents at the building level. It's crucial. As a building parent, nothing satisfies me more than when we have building activities at school and parents are there showing their kids how much that partnership is between home and school. There's nothing greater for me as a principal to have those opportunities to make connections with my parents and for my students to see that I am working with your parents. I get to have those one-on-one conversations with parents for them to tell me what matters to them and for me to share with them what I feel is going to help their students be more successful. That gives me an opportunity as a principal to bring that information back to the team, and we get to discuss that and make decisions as a whole with the group. That's crucial.
Yeah.
That's crucial because a lot of parents, for whatever reason, may not feel that, oh, I can come and sit and talk with the superintendents, or I can come and talk with the curriculum director, but they sure might feel like I can come grassroots into that building and talk to this principal that I see all the time. And we're more than happy to bring that information back to the group and share it.
Yeah.
That's where I think your real power is. So just to reiterate, not everybody has the ability. We can't bring every single parent into the group, but what we sure can do is have those mini conversations day by day and get parents hooked into the schools to share those ideas and build those relationships and bring that information back to the group at large.
Yeah, thank you. And I know that was the answer I figured you would give. I think the passion of all of our administrations, teacher-wise specifically, has that same passion and desire. And I was talking to a parent a couple weeks ago, and they did a call to conference, and they brought the student in with that. And, you know, there's he said, she said, and the truth, right? And that's where it came together. And ever since then, there's been a big difference in the shift of the student's behavior and the communication between the parent and the teacher, which wasn't bad before, but that involvement helped the student overall. And like Mr. Smith always says, and we all know, it's all about the kids. So I wanted you to say that, and I want the community to know the parents are vitally important, that they, no matter what school it is, not just North, but any of them, that they get involved with their students and the teachers and the principals, because they are accessible. So,
absolutely.
So getting back to this, thank you so much for doing this. This is amazing, and I'm glad it keeps increasing every year. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Hayes. This was always such an important program to former board member Belina Shorter, and it's great to hear that it continues forward and your engagement and commitment to it through all these years, and several other of you up here as well that have been a part of this is really commendable. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. Good.
Thank you.